Hello students, welcome to class 11 physics class. Today we discuss the equation of motion and we derive that by using the calculus method. Calculus method means by using differentiation and integration. So in last class we discussed about the integration and some examples related to integration, how we solve that one, and we studied there are two types of integration, definite and indefinite. Okay, that process of differentiation and integration we used here to derive the equation of motion. In class 9 we studied we have three equation of motion. One is v equals to u plus at, another one is s equals to ut plus half at square, third number is v square minus u square plus 2as. But after derive these three equations, we also learn another fourth equation of motion in this class. So let's start with the first equation of motion. First equation of motion is v equals to u plus at. That means we need velocity. And from where we get velocity? In calculus method, if we integrate dv, then we easily get the velocity v. So where we get the dv? From definition of acceleration. So acceleration a equals to dv by dt. So dv equals to a into dt. Now here we consider that acceleration is constant. So variable are 2 dv and dt. That's why here we take some assumptions, some consideration. What are that consideration? We consider that when time equals to 0, initial velocity is u. When time equals to t second, that means after t second, the final velocity of an object is v. So these are the consideration, because we have two variables here. One is dv, another one is a dt. So we need two limits, one related to dt, another one related to dv. So that's why we consider this one. So here integrate both sides. And dv limit is u to v, initial velocity e, final velocity v, u to v. Integration, initial time t, final time t, initial time t equals to 0, final time t equals to t second. So 0 to t, a into dt. Now after integrate of dv, we get v, u to v, a, integration dt, dt means t, 0 to t. And we know that how we put the limit, upper limit minus lower limit. So v minus u, that is equals to a into t minus 0. After solving, we get our first equation of motion, v equals to u plus at. It's very easy. Just to remember, we need velocity, and from where we get velocity? If we integrate dv, then we get the velocity v. And from where we get dv? From the definition of acceleration. Clear? Okay. Now proceed to the second one. Second equation of motion. Second equation of motion is related to s equals to ut plus half at square. That means distance or displacement. So from where we get the displacement? From the definition of velocity, because their ds is there. So v equals to ds by dt. So now if we simplify it, ds equals to v into dt. Now already we derived the first equation of motion, and that is all related to v. So in place of v, we write the first equation of motion, u plus at. Okay. Now here you see that the variables are two. One is ds, another one is dt. So whatever the consideration we consider, that all related to ds and dt. So what we consider? At time t equals to 0 second, no displacement is there. That means s equals to 0. After some time t, its displacement is s. So here we take 0 to s, and here we take the time limit 0 to t. So see, this equation number 2 is integrate both sides with putting the limit 0 to s ds, integration 0 to t, u plus at dt. And we know how to solve this one. First we separate this. So u dt 0 to t plus integration 0 to t at into dt. So after solving this integration, we get u is constant, t 0 to t, a is constant, t into dt. Integration of x to the power n dx, that is equals to x to the power n plus 1 by n plus 1. that one we use here. That's why t square by 2 0 to 2. So upper limit minus lower limit. Here also we put the limit, so we get our second equation of motion, that is u equals to s equals to ut plus half at square. Is it okay? Okay, now let's proceed to the third equation of motion. Third equation of motion, just we use the concept of acceleration and we write the that formula in such a way that we get the variables ds and dv, because the equation is v square minus u square equals to 2as. So v and u both are the velocity. So if we consider the limit, from there we can put v and u, but from where we get the v? If we integrate dv, so we need one variable is dv, another one is s. So from where we get s? From ds. So we write the equation, whatever the equation we use, in such a way that we have two variables, one is dv, another one is a ds. So from where we get that one? We use the equation of definition of acceleration, that is dv by dt. So in this equation we have only two variables, dv and dt, but in third equation no t term is there. Okay, so we write this equation in such a way that we have two variables, dv and ds. So dv by ds into ds by dt, you see that if we ds cancel, so ultimately we get the original equation, that is dv by dt. So ds by dt means velocity, rate of change of displacement, that is called velocity. So dv by ds into v. Now in this equation you see that two variables are there, one dv, another one ds. So if we integrate with some consideration, with some limit, we get velocity as well as a displacement. So we just simplify, we just write this one, a into ds, that is equals to v into dv. Now the consideration, because we need the limit. At time t equals to 0, displacement is 0, velocity is u, initial velocity u. After some time t second, displacement is s and its final velocity is v. So we integrate this equation one both side, and here the variable is ds, so its limit is 0 to s, and here the variable is velocity, its limit is u to v. So we write this one. Now we integrate ds, a is constant s, and v dv, that is v square by 2, using this formula x n dx, that is equals to x to the power n plus 1 by n plus 1. Now putting the limits, v square by 2 minus u square by 2, and here also s minus 0, we get a s minus 0, that is equals to half of v square minus u square. Now if we multiply this to the side, so we have 2as, that is equals to v square minus u square. So this is nothing but our third equation of motion, v square minus u square equals to 2 into a into s. Now in this class we studied another one formula, that is fourth equation of motion, which is you did not study in class 9. This is new formula in this class, that is snth. snth means distance traveled by an object in nth second. Nth second means, suppose this here to here is 4 second. In an object travel this distance in 4 second. Okay, but in second here, second or in third second, how much distance it travel? We use this formula to find out that nth second, nth this second and this 4 second, this two time are different. This total is 4 second, but in between 4 second, first second, second second, third second, fourth second, up to total is 4 second, but in at particularly second how much distance it travel, third second how much distance it travel. We need this equation to calculate the distance travel in nth second by an object. So here we need s, so we use the definition of velocity, v equals to ds by dt, so ds equals to v into dt. In place of v, we use the first equation of motion, u plus at into dt. Okay. Now we consider, here also we consider, when time n minus 1 second, distance is s n minus 1. We represent that in particular that second, the distance traveling that on. That's why it represents Sn minus 1. And when time is n second, distance is Sn. So if this is a distance total, in this is a n minus 1 second and this is n second. So if we subtract this 2, so we get how much distance it traveled in nth second. Sn minus Sn minus 1, Sn minus Sn minus 1, that is nothing but it gives us the displacement or distance traveled in nth second. That's why we write n minus 1 and n second. Okay. So distance is Sn minus 1 and distance is Sn. Now we integrate both sides with limit Sn minus 1 to Sn and here n minus 1 to n. Now we separate it, we integrate, put the limits, and here some calculation is there. S square minus b square, that formula also be there. And Sn minus 1, that is the distance covered or traveled by an object in nth second. That Snth means Sn minus Sn minus 1. That is equals to u plus a by 2 2n minus 1. We discuss some problem, then you understand this fourth equation of motion. So did you understand the fourth equation of motion? Fourth equation of motion is related to distance traveling in its second by an object. Okay, let's take one example. So this example, a body covers 12 meter in second, not a second, 2 seconds. Second, 12 meter and fourth second, 20 meter. So if we use this one, so we can understand, we get one equation because this one is given Snth, that means 12 meter in second, and fourth second 20 meter. So from using these two information, we have two equation in terms of u and a. If we solve that two equation, we get the value of u and a. Let's see, second 12 meter, fourth second 20 meter. So using this formula, that is n equals to 2, another one n equals to 4. So we have this two equation in terms of u and a. Let's solving this two equation, we have a equals to 4 meter per second square and u equals to 6 meter per second square. But we find out how much distance will it cover in 4 seconds after 5th second. This is 4 seconds, suppose this is 5th second. After 5th second, 4 second means 1, 2, 3, 4. After this 4 second, total 4 second. After 5th second up to 4 second means that is 9th second. 6, 7, 8, 9. So 4 second, how much distance will cover if we minus S9 minus S5? So we get this in between this distance in 4 second. After 4th second, that means up to 9. So if we subtract in nth 9th second and in 5th second, how much distance it cover? So we get in 4th second how much distance it will cover. So we use the second equation of motion, ut plus half at square, s 4th second, Sn minus S5, we put the value of u and a, and t equals to first one is 9, second one is 5. So we have 136 meter. First we use the fourth equation of motion, we construct two equation. From solving that two equation, we get the value of u and a. Then we use the second equation of motion, and from that information that in after 4 second, that means that is 9 second. So S9 minus S5, that gives us the distance covered in 4 seconds. So that is 136 meter. Understand? Another one example we take. A body covers 10 meter in second. That means S second equals to 10 meter and 25 meter in 5th second. That means S5 equals to 25 meter. So we use this equation, and from this equation we construct these two equations. Now these two equations solve and we get the value of a and u. Now what is the question? If the motion is uniformly accelerated, how far will it go in 7 seconds? In 7 seconds, how much it will travel? So we use the second equation of motion because we have the value of u and a. So ST means S7. We put the value of A and U. We get 35 meter. This is also the another one, same numerical. Its third is given, fifth is given. We solve that two equation. We have U and A. Then we find out how far it will travel in the next 3 seconds. That means after 5th second, next 3 seconds means 8 seconds. So S8 minus S5, we get the 60 meter. Okay. Next topic is motion under gravity. This also we studied in class 9. Because we know that the acceleration is denoted by normally A, but in case of gravity, when during the free fall, that in place of A, it represent by small g, acceleration due to gravity. What is free fall? When the motion of a body falling towards the earth from a small height, it's called free fall. If we consider there is no air resistance, all bodies fall with the same acceleration near the surface of the earth, and this motion is called, this acceleration with which a body falls, that is called acceleration due to gravity, and it is denoted by g. What is its value in SI? Its value is 9.81 meter per second square. Okay, so in terms of acceleration due to gravity, how we can write that three equation of motion? S equals to U plus minus GT V equals to U plus minus GT, S equals to UT plus minus half GT square, and V square minus U square equals to plus minus 2GS. Why we use plus minus? Because sometimes we throw the ball vertically upwards, sometimes body falls vertically downwards. Okay, that means once against the gravity or opposite to the gravity, and another one towards the gravity. When it falls towards the gravity, falls freely, we consider G is positive. That time all equation is positive. But if we thrown a body vertically upward direction, we consider G is negative. When opposite to the gravity, then we consider this sign is negative. Clear? That's why we write plus minus. Now here, some points you have to remember for calculation the numericals. First point, when a body just dropped, U equals to 0. Just dropped, no velocity, initial velocity is there, U equals to 0. Maximum height reached when a body thrown vertically up with initial velocity U. When a body reaches at maximum height, what is its expression? At maximum height, maximum velocity is 0 because it comes to at rest, V equals to 0, and we consider the maximum height is h. So from third equation of motion, because it is vertically upward direction, g is negative, that's why we write minus 2gh. V is 0, from here we get u square equals to 2gh and h equals to u square by 2g. This is the maximum height. It is reached when a body thrown vertically up with the initial velocity. Now, to attain this maximum velocity, how much time it's taken by an object? That is called time of ascent. So, to attain the maximum height, we consider the time taken is t. So, from first equation of motion, because v is 0 at maximum height, u minus gt. So, u equals to gt, t equals to u by g. So, this is the time to attain taken by an object to attain the maximum height, this one. When object thrown, a body thrown vertically upward direction with initial velocity u. Clear? Okay. Now time of descent, the body is not constant over there. When we throw, after some time it will freely fall or downwards direction. So when it returns back to its initial position or its original position from maximum height, whatever the time is taken, that time is called time of descent. To attain the maximum height, that is called time of ascent. And after attain the maximum height, when it falls from the maximum height and returns to its original position, that is called time of descent. So when it falls, that means the direction is towards the g. That's why g is positive. So from here we can write minus h equals to minus half because u equals to 0. Minus h is opposite direction, that's why minus h equals to half minus half gt1 square. Or you can write this one also, h equals to ut plus half gt square, t1 square. Okay, u is 0, you just don't write this one. H equals to ut plus half gt t1 square. G, now g direction is towards the gravity, that's why plus. U is 0, so h equals to half g t1 square. So t1 square equals to 2h by g from here. So and h equals to, we get u square by 2g, we put it here, we get u square by g square, so t1 equals to u by g. So you see that the time of ascent and time of descent both are same. Okay. So what are the total time? That is called total time of flight. Total time of flight means time of ascent plus time of descent. So we put the values, we have 2u by g. It is sometimes it is represented by tf, time of flight. In some books it will represent as a tf, or some books only capital T. Clear? Okay. Now next key point is velocity attained by a body dropped from a height h. At a maximum height, maximum velocity is 0. But when it dropped from that height, the first key point u is 0. So here also u is 0. Now using the third equation of motion, u is 0. So v square equals to 2gh. So v equals to root under 2gh. Clear? So this is the velocity attained by a body dropped from a certain height. Clear? If you have any problem related to this equation of motion, derivation of equation of motion, just you asked in a comment box. Write in a comment box. I will give reply. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Tata.